Today's class is about physiology of taste. Okay, so this is from the textbook Genong's Physiology. So today's class is from Genong's, so you can go back and read Genong's if you have any doubts. Okay, so taste is also called gustation. In the previous class, we saw about mastication, where you chew the food and grind it down into smaller pieces. Deglutition is where these smaller pieces are clubbed together to form a bolus, which is swallowed. Whereas gustation is the process by which you taste the food, whatever you are going to eat. So whenever you think of taste, the other parameter which always comes in mind is smell, because whenever the food smells good, you feel to eat more. Okay, so always gustation is always in relationship with olfaction. Olfaction is nothing but smelling the various ingredients which are put into the food. Okay, so this olfaction is a separate physiology on its own, where you have the smell receptors in the nasal mucosa, which will try to segregate a favorite or favorable smell from an offensive one. But today's class is about gustation. So whenever you read gustation, always you have to have an idea about olfaction. Okay, so taste is through taste buds which are given on the dorsal surface of the tongue. You also see them in the posterior palate, can see them on the epiglottis and even on the pharyngeal wall. These taste buds are nothing but small elevations which you can see them on the papilla of the tongue, and you can see them on the mucosa of the pharynx, the palate and the epiglottis. Okay, so whenever you're going to say about taste buds, these taste buds usually contain 4 types of cells, so which is given in this diagram. All these you must know that taste bud is nothing but a modified epithelial cell with a dedicated nerve supply. So in that, it has a basal cell which gives support to the taste bud. So these basal cells have 3 more cells in attached to the basal cell. They are nothing but, you have a dark cell, you have a light cell and an intermediate cell. So these 3 types of cells along with the basal cell form a taste bud. It has a taste pore which opens into the cavity, your oral cavity or the pharynx. So where it has a small opening called taste pore. This taste pore has numerous cilia within which the ingredients from your food mixes with the saliva, and the taste sensation is felt by the taste bud and transmitted through the sensory nerves to the central nervous system. So whenever you think of taste sensation, you must always think of 3 nerve fibers. Okay, one is the chorda tympani branch, which is the only sensory division of facial nerve, that is 7th cranial nerve. Then you have the glossopharyngeal nerve, which is the 9th cranial nerve, and you have the vagus nerve, which is the 10th cranial nerve. So these 3 nerve fibers, your chorda tympani, then you have your glossopharyngeal, and you have your vagus nerve, which transmits the taste sensation to the central nervous system. And whenever you think of taste buds in the tongue, you always remember the papillae. Papillae are nothing but projections on the dorsal surface of the tongue, out of which you have 4 main papillae. You have your filiform, which is the most numerous papillae, but they do not have any taste buds, followed by fungiform papillae, which you see numerously on the tip of the tongue. In the tip of the tongue, you can see the fungiform papillae. Then you have the circumvallate papillae, which is arranged in a V shape anterior to the sulcus terminalis, and you have the foliate papillae, which you see on the posterior edge of the tongue. Out of all the papillae of the tongue, you have the fungiform, the foliate and circumvallate, which shows taste buds. Okay, so these taste buds are seen predominantly in your circumvallate and foliate papilla. They can show up to 100 taste buds, whereas your fungiform papilla can show up to 5 taste buds. and you can also see taste buds in the palate, pharynx, and even on the epiglottis. Whenever you're going to see about your circumvallate papillae, they also show salivary glands called serous glands of von Ebner, which is seen below the circumvallate papilla. So the secretion of these von Ebner's glands help in dilution of the chemicals in the food, which is felt as taste. Okay, so is that clear? So whenever you think of taste buds, you must always think of its histology. The histology of a taste bud has a supportive basal cell, and it has three types of other cells. You have a dark cell, a light cell, and an intermediate cell, which communicates into the oral cavity and the pharyngeal cavity through the cilia in the taste pore. Each taste bud is innervated by sensory fibers coming from chorda tympani branch of the seventh nerve or glossopharyngeal nerve and vagus nerve based on its location. On the papilla of the tongue, the filiform papilla does not show any taste buds. Your fungiform papilla shows 5 taste buds. Your foliate papilla and circumvallate papilla can show around 100 taste buds in its papillae. And you must always remember von Ebner's glands are serous glands seen in the circumvallate papillae, the secretions of which will help to dilute the chemicals in the food which you perceive as taste. So whenever you see the taste pathway, this can come as an essay in your physiology paper. So always remember this diagram. So here papillae on the tongue, you have the papillae on the pharynx, you have papillae on the epiglottis, okay, and your papillae on the palate. So based on the nerve supply, if it is going to be from chorda tympani, it anastomoses in the geniculate ganglion, and the fibers go on to the nucleus of tractus solitarius. So always remember NTS. NTS is nucleus of tractus solitarius, which is a separate section for taste sensation called gustatory portion of the nucleus of tractus solitarius in the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata is nothing but the brain stem. So all the nerve fibers carrying taste from the oral cavity and the pharynx goes to the nucleus of tractus solitarius in the medulla oblongata. So from there you have the ascending fibers which goes into the ipsilateral medial lemniscus, and they project into the posteromedial nucleus of the thalamus. So these second order neurons from the medulla go to the thalamus. So from the thalamus, the third order neurons go to the cerebral cortex, which is your anterior insula in the frontal area. So whenever you're going to discuss the nerve pathway, you have to trace the pathway from the receptor back to the ganglion, from the ganglion to the nucleus in the brainstem. From the brainstem, you have the second order neurons to the thalamus. From the thalamus, you have the third order neurons to the cortex. So whenever you are going to remember taste, taste perception and taste discrimination is done in the cortex. So if it is going to be from the facial nerve, its synapses at the geniculate ganglion. If it is going to be the glossopharyngeal nerve, the synapses at the petrosal ganglion, and if it's going to be the vagus nerve, it is at the nodose ganglion. Okay, so always remember 3 cranial nerves. You have the facial nerve, the chorda tympani branch, which anastomoses at geniculate ganglion goes to NTS, your nucleus of tractus solitarius. You have the glossopharyngeal nerve carrying the sensation to the petrosal ganglion. From there it goes to the NTS. You have the vagus nerve having a synapses at the nodose ganglion, which goes up to the nucleus tractus solitarius. So these are the 3 ganglions: geniculate ganglion, petrosal ganglion, nodose ganglion, which anastomoses at the nucleus tractus solitarius, the gustatory area in the medulla oblongata. From there you have the second order neuron which goes up to the medial nucleus of thalamus. So from the thalamus you have the third order neuron which goes to the frontal cortex. So whenever you remember the taste pathway, remember these 3 nerves, your cranial nerves of facial nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, 3 ganglions, geniculate ganglion, petrosal ganglion, nodose ganglion. Remember the NTS in the medulla oblongata. From there, you have the second order neurons to the medial nucleus of the thalamus. Then from there, the third motor neuron goes to the frontal cortex. This is your anterior insula. So always you remember, this is the taste pathway from the taste buds. So whenever you think of taste, whatever food you eat or a drink, you have 4 basic tastes, which is sweet, sour, bitter, and salt. These are the 4 main tastes which you know: basic taste, sweet, sour, bitter, and salt. Now the 5th one is recently added, which is called umami. Umami is nothing but monosodium glutamate. This MSG is a salt which is predominantly used in Asian cooking. So because of this MSG, it induces a separate taste sensation which is called umami. This umami is pleasant and it is also mildly sweet, but it differs from the standard sweet taste. So whenever you remember taste, 5 taste sensations are there: sweet, sour, bitter, salt, and umami. So remember these 5 taste sensations. Umami is nothing but it's a pleasant sweet taste, but it is not as sweet as standard sweet. Okay, so whenever you're going to have any taste sensation, the taste sensation is signaled from the receptors in the oral and pharyngeal cavity, carried by the nerve fibers, and it is interpreted in the frontal cortex. So there are 2 main types of receptors of taste. One is called ligand gated channels, called ionotropic receptors. The other one is GPCR, which is a G protein coupled receptor. So there are 2 types of receptors which you must know. One is ionotropic. Ionotropic means receptors that get activated by movement of ions across the receptor. The other one is called metabotropic receptors, which is due to G protein coupled receptors. Okay, so they are shown in this picture below. What happens is you have these 2. These red ones are your ionotropic receptors, which gets activated by movement of ions. Then you have the G protein coupled receptors, which is your metabotropic receptor. So what happens is your salt taste, your sour taste, sweet, bitter, and umami. Umami is nothing but, told you, due to MSG, monosodium glutamate, seen in Asian cooking items. Okay, so whenever you're going to see these taste sensation, the corresponding receptors get activated. So if you see here, you have a N terminal. NT represents the N terminal. CT represents your C terminal of the protein. Your salt sensation is due to movement of sodium ions through the receptor. Whenever a sodium ion moves through the receptor, you get a sensation of salty taste. When you have a movement of a hydrogen ion, H plus ion, you feel the taste of sourness. Sourness is usually acidic in nature. So this sourness is due to H plus ion movement through the receptor. Whereas your sweet, bitter, and umami taste are due to G protein coupled receptors, where T1R2, T1R3 is responsible for sweet, T2R family is responsible for bitter, and M-glu R4 is responsible for umami. Yes?
Sir, what is this G protein?
Sorry?
Sir, what is this G protein?
G protein is a molecular structure. Whenever you remember cell membrane physiology, so this is a protein that connects the outer membrane with the inner membrane of the cell wall. It transverses the membrane around 7 times. Okay, so it is a G protein which is present on the cell membrane of any cell. Okay, so it is in cell physiology. You should go to the first chapter where you read about cell membrane. You will know about this in detail. Okay, so this is about the taste pathway which I told you, and the 5 taste receptors. So your main tastes are sweet, salt, sour, bitter, umami. For salt and sourness, it is a ligand gated channel where movement of ions stimulate the taste. So you have movement of sodium giving a salt sensation, movement of H plus ions giving a sour sensation. Then you have G protein coupled receptors, which gives you a taste of sweet, taste of bitterness, and taste of umami. Okay, so whenever you see or whenever you start tasting something, there is always a threshold. Threshold is something like a limit below which you may not notice that there is something which is present, above which you be able to identify or stop consuming it. So imagine if you see the concentration, if you see here, for glucose you need almost 80,000 micromoles should be present for you to feel it is sweet. Whereas if you see strychnine hydrochloride, which is a bitter sensation, which is a poison also, 1.6 micromole is enough to give you a bitter taste. That's why bitter sensation is form of a protective phenomenon in your animal life. So whenever you taste something bitter, most of the poisons taste bitter, so it's almost like a preventive action. But you cannot say that all poisons may be bitter. You have sweet poisons also which are there, but it in general, whatever you see, you need a higher concentration for sweet if it is in the form of glucose. But if it's going to be sweetener, what you see in your artificial sweetness, the sweet sensation is almost say 80,000 micromole is down to 23 micromoles. And sodium chloride, you need 2000 micromoles for you to feel the taste of salt. And for the taste of sourness, it is far less than your sweet or salty. If HCl is present even at 100 micromole, you can feel the sour taste in the food. So whenever you're going to have these thresholds to be broken by the concentration in the food, you can be able to feel the different taste sensation. But what is the applied part of this taste sensation? You have few diseases which you'll be reading about in third year, where you have abnormalities in taste. One is called agwasia. Agwasia means complete lack of taste. The individual is unable to taste any food material. You also have hypogwasia. Hypogwasia is reduction in taste sensation. This can also be due to damage of the lingual nerves, glossopharyngeal nerves, or due to some cerebral disorders, you can have hypogwasia. You can also get dysgwasia, paragwasia, where you get an unpleasant feeling of taste. Sometimes you may feel a metallic taste in your oral cavity after taking some antibiotics. You can feel this, a metallic taste, a foul taste in your oral cavity. There are conditions where you have hypergwasia, or they are also called super tasters. Super tasters are people who have more taste buds in the fungiform papillae, and most of them are used in your confectionaries. They are used in tea factories for tasting. They are used in coffee factories. They are used in milk factories, okay, for tasting. So which is, they are called super tasters. So you have to keep brushing your tongue regularly, clean it up to prevent any food debris uptake onto the tongue to avoid such taste abnormalities. So to summarize today's class, we started with what is taste. Taste is also called gustation. So gustation is always interlinked with your olfaction. So the taste is perceived by taste buds, which are present on the dorsal surface of the tongue. You see them in the posterior palate. You can see them in the soft palate. You can see them in the pharynx and even in the epiglottis. So it is supplied by the cranial nerve, the chorda tympani branch, glossopharyngeal branch, and vagus branch, which anastomose with the petrous ganglion. You have the nodose ganglion and you have the geniculate ganglion. So you have the petrosal ganglion, nodose ganglion, the geniculate ganglion, where the nerve fibers anastomose, they migrate up to the medulla oblongata, to the NTS, nucleus tractus solitarius region. From there, your second motor neurons go up to the medial nucleus, posterior medial nucleus of the thalamus. From there, the third order neurons go to the frontal cortex, that is your anterior insula. So the taste is perceived as 5 tastes. You have salt, sour, sweet, bitter, and umami. Umami is due to monosodium glutamate seen in Asian cooking. Salt and sour feeling is transmitted through ionotropic receptors, where movement of sodium ions give a salt taste, movement of H plus ions give a sour taste. Whereas a sweet, bitter, and umami is due to G protein coupled receptor seen on the cell membrane. So when you're going to see a taste bud in general, it has 4 types of cells. It is supported by a basal cell, and it is covered by 3 types of dark, light, or intermediate cells, which communicate into the oral cavity through a taste pore having numerous cilia. The saliva dilutes the chemicals present in the food, which activates the receptors on the cells, which is transmitted as sensory innervation to the gustatory region, which is perceived as taste. So when you're going to see the papilla, your filiform papilla does not have any taste buds. Your fungiform papilla usually has around 5 taste buds, whereas your foliate and circumvallate can show up to 100 taste buds. Your circumvallate papilla also shows von Ebner's glands, which secrete a saliva, which is helped to dilute the chemicals in the food, which is perceived as taste. So is that clear? Any doubts? So I will re-log in again to ask your doubts. Okay.